Good morning, my loves. Let's get into our rational numbers. Second number is the one that would be outside the division house. So when we are moving our decimals in a way that is fair, because we know that if the decimal is in the divisor, the outside number, it doesn't work. We're going to start with moving the back and then the front. For this first one, it becomes 72 divided by 18. I'm going to put the negative sign up here because the signs disagree. 18 times 4 is 72 on the nose, and that 4 is negative. Over here, no decimal outside, so I'm going to go ahead and set it up as expected. I'm going to put my negative sign in, decimal into the answer. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. Add a 0 because there's no remainders in decimals. 3 times 3 is 9. When I subtract and I get a 1 here, I see that this is going to continue to repeat because every time I'm going to get 9, every time I subtract, I'll get 1. So 3.23 repeating, or negative 3 and 23 hundredths. Over here, no decimal outside. Decimal after the 2, though. And it's negative. Decimal up into the answer. 7 does not go into 1, but it does go into 12 one time. 12 minus 7 is 5. Bring down my 8. 7 times 8 is 56. 58 minus 56 is 2. No remainders. 7 times 2 is 14. I'm going to go sideways here. 7 times 8 is 56. And then 7 times 5. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 7 times 5 is 35. At this point, we're out 4 decimals, which is the max I said you would have to do if you did not go out that far. That is okay. Just wanted to give you all of the options out in case you went that far. Negative 1.8285 or 1n 8,285 10,000ths. All right, this one's outside. So 1, 2. I'm going to do 48 divided by 3, but make it negative. 3 goes into 4 one time. 3 goes into 6, or 3 goes into 18 6 times. Answer for this one, negative whole number 16. Coming downtown, make it negative, but no decimal outside. 6 goes into 10 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 10 minus 6 is 4. Bring it down. 6 times 7 is 42. This one does finish up strong. 6 times 5 is 30. No remainder, no repeating. Negative 1 and 75 hundredths, last one on this page. Decimal outside, so 1, 2. Put the negative up into the answer. We don't need it there. 182 and 4 tenths divided by 32. When we're dividing by a 2-digit number, if you're not sure what your 32 times tables are, number 1, you're human. Number 2, you skip counting. It will get you where you need to be. I don't expect you to know your 32s, okay? That's just not a reasonable expectation. 32 does not go into 1 or 18. It does go into 182 5 times. 5 times 32 is 160. When we subtract, we get 22. Bring down the 4. This does go in 7 more times evenly with nothing left over. So negative 5 and 7 tenths. Questions on the first page? Please go ahead and bring them with you to class. In class, we talked about how we don't divide by fractions. We multiply by their opposite. So I like to go in and I like to flip the remaining or back fractions to start. And then let's dive in. 5/8 times 4 over 3 is 20 over 24. Talked about this a little bit in class, but another thing that I like to do when we get to this point is I like to ask myself, can I simplify on this first set? Because I don't want to have to simplify some crazy gargantuan number. So I'm going to come in before I'm even done, and I'm going to simplify this down to 5 on the top and 6 on the bottom, but make it negative so that when I do this last set, I don't have something super scary, okay? This is negative 25 over 12. This is improper, don't leave it. I can take 12 out of 25 two times with one piece left over. Negative 2 and 1/12. If you got negative 25 over 12, I get it. We do want to do our best not to leave it in that form. All right, multiply by opposites. 7/9 times 6/5 equals 42 over 45, but make it negative. I can divide those both by 3 to get negative 14 over 15, which I then divide by 7/3 or multiply by 7/3, which is negative 98 over 45. Again, improper, please don't leave it that way. 45 goes into 98 two times, leaving 8 45ths, but make it negative. Coming down here, I'm going to pop in and I'm going to multiply by their opposites to start. So we're going to do 2/3 times 5/4 equals 10/12, but make it negative. I can split that in half to 5/6. Then I multiply by my 2 over 1. Again, you don't have to do it that way. I prefer to do it that way because it makes my life easier and I don't have to simplify something really big. 6 goes into 10 one time, and I'll have 4/6 left, which simplifies all the way down to 1 2/3 because 4 and 6 can both be cut into half. Coming down, oh, did I do the other side? No, I didn't. Multiply by opposites. 8 over 11 times 9 over 5 is 72 over 55, which can't be simplified except if we rewrite it as in mixed number, which we don't want to do. To multiply, because you can't actually multiply a mixed number in a fraction. You would have to make it improper anyway. So just leave it. Divide these both by 4. I get 126 over 55. Still improper, meaning top is bigger than the bottom. 55 goes into 126 two times, with 16 over 55 left, but make it negative. Coming down here, flip those opposites. And again, I just do that so that I don't forget when I'm writing it, because our brain is going to brain. 27 over 20, again, improper, but not a quick simplified fix. So we're just going to go with it. Negative and negative ends up being positive 216 over 140. 140, we can pull that out one time with 76 140ths. I can get that lower. How low can you go? 1 and 19. That is a terrible 19 over 35. All right, last one here. 3/5, which is negative, times 12/7 is negative 36 over 35, improper, but not easy to simplify. Becomes positive 216 over 175. I can pull out one group of 175, and I have 41 over 175 left. On to page 2. Let's do it. Hanging out in the land of PEMDAS, make sure you follow the rules. We're going to start with our parentheses. When I multiply this, I get 3.6. It's positive because my signs disagree. I'm going to convert this into a decimal and I'm going to round it. It's going to repeat. But I didn't feel like changing everything into fractions because when I add this, look how friendly that is. Subtract 4.23, repeating, or you could say 4 and 23 over 100. Options, both of them are good. All right, starting with the division, 2 divided by 1.5 is 1.33. Bring down my subtraction sign. Make sure you bring your signs down. I'm going to convert this to negative 5714. And when I subtract these, I guess I won't subtract it yet. We'll move it through. All right, let's start in the front. When I subtract these, I get 2.6286 plus that negative 1.33. It's going to keep going and going and going and going. Yes, that is negative. Subtract those, I get 1.2953, or I can round it to 1.3. Either of those are fine. Coming down here, 1/2 as a decimal, super friendly. When I add these together, I get 2.8. When I subtract these, I get negative 4.2. And when I subtract these again, because of opposite signs, negative 2 and 4/10. All right, let's make this a fraction. So 1 and 5/10 becomes 15/10. When I multiply that, that becomes 30/30, which is whole number 1. All that work for just a 1, but 'tis true. Opposite subtract. Keep change. We end up with negative 9 and 2/10. Just moving and grooving here. We're going to start by dividing these, not because they are in parentheses, but because that is the right thing to do. Plus 4/5, writing backwards. 4/5 is the same as 8/10 because 4 and 5 both multiply by 2 give you 8/10. 8 minus 8/10 is 7.2 plus a negative 1.8. Subtract to get 5 and 4/10. And then popping over here, subtract them. Remember to add the 0 in the back. Make your life easier. 3.15 coming outside of the parentheses. We have 9 and 45/100 becomes 4 and 35/100. Look how friendly that is. And that's the end of page 3. Let's keep PEMDASing, my loves. All right, to the back. Let's multiply. I get 2.4. I'm going to keep change right there because I like positive, friendly numbers. And because I can. At this point, going front to back, this gives me whole number 2. And this gives me 4.4. The math is mathing. Back here, when we divide this, we get 2.3. That decimal keeps repeating until the end of time. I'm going to keep change because I can. 14.5 plus 2.3 repeating. That's going to give us 16.83 repeating. Coming downtown to the middle here. Multiply 75. Oh, get off the eraser. Thank you so much. 75 doubled is 150. Add the decimals in, it's 15. And then look, it's so friendly. 5 minus 5. Oh, is it my favorite number? Yes, it is. Gotta sneak one in every once in a while. Divide these. Oh, look, my favorite number strikes again. Are we surprised? You shouldn't be. It's me. All right, let's multiply in the middle. 2.5 times 4 gives you 10, but make it negative. Keep change. Wow, just made an arrow. Interesting. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Over here, gonna divide in the back. 3, but make it negative. Can't keep change that away because it's a negative sign, not a plus sign. All right, where are we here? This gives us, keeps going on the eraser. 4.5 plus negative 3, which gives us 1 and 5/10. Last page. Word problems. Aren't they friendly? A group of friends goes on a ski trip and they rent a cabin for 3 days at $1 or $125 per day. They also spend $87.50 on food and $60 on gas. Each of the 5 friends split the total of the cost equally. What is the total and cost per person? So for your cabin, grand total of $375. For our food and gas, it's $147.50. In total, that gives us $522.50 divided by 5 is $104.50. Next question, we are on a hiking trip. Alec climbs up 2.5 miles, but then realizes he's on the wrong trail and descends or climbs down 1.75 miles. He then finds the correct trail and hikes 3.5 miles up again. What is the total distance hiked? Try to trick you on this one because it doesn't matter if he is ascending, going up, or descending, coming down. We're just looking at the distance. He hiked 7.7 miles. Just pull the numbers and add them together. Last one, Sarah's going shopping and she has $150 to spend. She buys a jacket, some shoes, and a hat, but she returns a shirt. There's 8% sales tax. What is the total purchase? So she is spending, let's say, $45.80 plus $39.90 plus $15.30. That gives us a total of $101. But then she does her return, which gives us a total of $72.60 spent before the tax. In order to find the tax, we need to multiply this by our percent as a decimal. We're going to get $5.81 more that we need to add. Her total spent is $78.41. Her change or leftover is $71.59. As always, if you have questions, please go ahead and bring them to class.